Despite claiming in his interviews with Western media outlets that he had been a victim of coup d'etats in Turkey for 5 decades, Fethullah Gulen, leader of the Gulen terrorist organization, aka FETÖ, is actually contradicting with his personal memoirs and witnessings in which his direct or indirect involvement to military coups in the country was revealed. For example, when the first military coup of modern Turkish history happened in 1960, Gulen is a young preacher in western province of Edirne, and all the Islamic communities, Islamic figures, were suffering crackdown from the military junta. Yet, Gulen is able to protect himself from that military junta, despite being a young preacher. In his memoirs, and his followers say that Gulen could protect himself from the military junta and the catastrophic atmosphere of the coup d'etat thanks to his friendships with police officers and judicial figures. Although he was first detained, all of a sudden he was then released. And after 2 years, when he was rendering his military service in Mamak district of Ankara, he was just next to the Colonel Talat Aydemir, who was the perpetrator of the coup attempt at that time. And in his memoirs titled Ölümsüzlük İksiri, written by Faruk Mercan, a FETÖ journalist, he says that he was so excited being a part of the putschists, and he says that he mentions as the putschists as the kids who then failed the coup attempt. And it is interesting that after the failed coup attempt, he was protected, he was not touched, even he was not detained for this attempt. And then he starts to be a well-known figure of anti-communist association in western province of Izmir. Thanks to his efforts in this association, he became a well-known figure across the country. However, when the military coup happened in 1971, he was first arrested and he was jailed for 6 months. Then, all of a sudden, he was released thanks to his activities in the association, and he's sent to Balıkesir province for making state propaganda, despite the catastrophic atmosphere of the country at that time. And his political adventure actually starts with this milestone incident. Then, 1980 coup, the biggest coup d'etat in the country happened, and Gulen actually knew how to respond to this incident, like having a good relations with the military junta and including the leader of the junta, Kenan Evren. In his organization's magazine titled Sızıntı, he doesn't abstain to praise the military junta. In the editorial titled The Last Outpost, he describes the military as a God-sent thing to the chaos in the country, and he describes Evren as a leader who needs to be obeyed. So, even 25 years after the incident, he continues praises to Evren, and he even claims that Evren can be accepted to heaven. He can go to heaven thanks to his efforts in the coup d'etat, and he's making compulsory the religious courses in elementary and high school level education. And when the postmodern coup of the country happened in 1997, he is a well-known figure by the state officials, including President Süleyman Demirel and Tansu Çiller and Bülent Ecevit. He has a good network with them, and he was always in a row with Prime Minister Necmettin Erbakan. At that time, he knows how to respond the military coup again, and in his interview with Hürriyet Daily, he says to Erbakan that you have failed, now quit. And this headline became a symbol of the Gulen's reaction to military coup, and all the Islamic communities actually did not forget this headline. And he continues with his prizes to military coup, and he defends the headscarf ban on the Muslims who wants to enter the universities and state bureaus. And he also does not abstain with claiming that military has been a much more democratic than the civilian governments in Turkey. That's why he was always protected by the state officials and military juntas, and his claim is actually a fizzled and baseless argument.